Echoes from the watery depths, the tale of the living dead. The year is 1362. A rich town on the island of Rungholt in the middle of the Wadden Sea, where mining peat salt is a lucrative business. Local residents transport the salt to Hamburg and Bremen. But this is the year the island disappears forever. The island of Rungholt, also known as the Atlantis of the North Sea, disappears forever into the depths of the North Sea after a huge storm surge. All the residents died, but some myths claim that Lucifer himself took the souls when the residents burned a suspected witch at the stake. Her last words were a curse and went like this: "You maggots, Beelzebub is my lord and I curse you. You will perish and rise again after 700 years and murder and destroy unhappily. With my death, you belong to my master." The witch burned to death and laughed uncomfortably loudly. A few days later, a huge storm came and brought a storm surge of biblical proportions. The entire island was destroyed and the residents lost their lives. Everything was covered by the Wadden Sea. The corpses, well preserved by the peat of the Wadden Sea, slowly rot, gnawed by the lugworm, and terribly disfigured. They wait to be resurrected as living dead in order to bring more souls for the devil. Alienaria Shop. Your one-stop fashion destination. Attention, fashion enthusiasts of all ages. Step into the extraordinary world of Alienaria, where style meets intergalactic flair. Whether you're a man, woman, or child, we've got the trendiest clothing and accessories to make you stand out from the crowd. Visit Alienaria Shop today and let us help you defy gravity with our mind-blowing fashion selections. Prepare to be abducted by style. "662 years have now passed. Horribly distorted deaths in the depths of the North Sea awaken to find victims for their master. The army of the living dead is making its way to the island of Norderney, where many tourists are relaxing. Ralph Saller, a paranormal investigator who works for the Federal Intelligence Service, BND, also has no idea of the impending danger. He is also here and is currently on vacation to recover from his last cases. Most recently he was in America, where Bigfoots and aliens had terrified a small town. But now Ralph goes for a walk on the beach. The waves play around his feet. It is currently high tide, but the tide will soon be low. Many tourists then take the opportunity to go on a mudflat hike with a guide. But the Wadden Sea can be very disastrous if the tide suddenly comes in again. Some careless people have already died when they drowned in the floods. But Ralph is not interested in hiking on the mud flats. He is here to enjoy the sea air and eat fish fresh from the North Sea. Some fishermen are making their way back to the harbor before the tide goes out, unaware of the danger in the middle of the sea. Helmut Lang, a passionate fisherman, makes his way back to the harbor on the island of Norderney with his team before the tide goes out. Helmut is one of the old breed and a real old sea dog. Despite his experience, he doesn't notice how slowly the creatures from hell climb onto his boat. Only when one of his sailors screams in pain as three of these creatures attack and tear him apart. Horrified, Helmut grabs a machete and attacks the creatures of darkness. But these are too numerous and overwhelm one after the other. It was a painful death for Helmut and the team. Shortly afterwards, they awaken as creatures from hell and join the army of darkness. The boat, piloted by the hellish creatures, enters the harbor of Norderney. Nobody suspects the deadly danger. Ralph is just arriving back at the hotel after his walk when he hears the panicked screams coming from the direction of the harbor. He hurries up to his room from where he has a good overview of Norderney, including the harbor. What happens there reminds him a bit of the TV series The Walking Dead. Moldy creatures storm out of a fishing boat and start hunting people. Luckily Ralph has his equipment with him. He opens his box, which resembles a safe, and takes out a belt with a gun holder, an ancient whip made of demon skin made in ancient China. This whip destroys demons and other unholy creatures. A revolver with silver bullets and an ancient Christian cross. He straps everything in and rushes towards the harbor to help the people. It takes less than 5 minutes for Ralph Saller to reach the harbor. There is absolute chaos here. People who were injured by the creatures try to escape towards the city center. Some of these undead immediately attack Ralph, and he strikes with the demon whip. The creature hit begins to glow and crumbles into dust. So he takes care of them one by one. At a greater distance, he deliberately shoots a creature that is attacking a child with a shot in the head. The silver bullet burns the creature from hell. There are no worse injuries or deaths. All passers-by get away with the hoarders, unaware that the majority of the army of terror is approaching Norderney Beach. Many tourists are lying on the beach and enjoying the sun when suddenly hell hits them. An army of decaying creatures is emerging from the water and charging towards the people resting there. Frightened and screaming in panic, they run down from the beach into the city. Pursued by the creatures, Ralph sees how these people all find refuge in the church. The church is immediately surrounded by the creatures of hell. These creatures from hell cannot enter the sacred holy place, but the people are still trapped. Ralph gathers his courage and runs towards the church to help the people. Local residents see Ralph and armed with clubs, knives and garden tools such as manure cables follow him to help. The battle lasted long. Ralph struck countless times with the demon whip. The residents also showed great skill in destroying the creatures. Everyone concentrates on getting the heads, which are the weak point of the creatures. The last one tried to attack Ralph from behind. It already had him in a stranglehold, but Ralph took his pistol and shot into the monster's skull. He took a deep breath and watched in disbelief as a hole opened in the ground from which flames came. Out of the flames a figure with wings, horns and a female body developed. Ralph suspects it is a succubus. A demon of the dream world. It causes dangerous nightmares that can destroy the human soul. The demon says to Ralph, "You will pay for this. You have destroyed all my slaves of darkness." Ralph replies, "Who are you?" "My name is Sirona. I was once a witch of dark magic. Those slaves burned me back then. But I cursed them in the name of the devil. In return, I have become the princess of nightmares and you cannot destroy a dream," said the creature of darkness very confidently. "You think so?" shouts Ralph and throws a vial of holy water at the demon. He takes off his crucifix and speaks Latin words from the Old Testament of the Bible. These sentences are used to exorcise demons. The demon screams and writhes but cannot escape. Ralph touches the demon with the ancient crucifix. It cries out wailingly and falls into 1,000 pieces like a broken mirror. Ralph says to the people, "Quickly, bring me more holy water from the church." Many run to the church and bring more holy water and water the demon's splinters. Ralph touches the surface with his crucifix and says in Latin, "In the name of the Father Almighty, darkness shall be illuminated." With the end of the sentence, all the splinters of evil disintegrate into a bright light. Ralph is out of breath. He actually just wanted to go on vacation. But that went pretty badly. Luckily everyone is uninjured. Ralph later writes his report and sends it to Colonel Schmidt. His answer was that he has a new case for him. About werewolves in Romania. Ralph sees his vacation is over and leaves the island of Norderney the next day.